Hey everybody, Chris here, and welcome to the year in review of 2011. This was the major video idea, not event. The event is coming in 2 days, on January 1st, 2012. However, this is the major video that I've been working on since the very beginning of 2011. It's a year in the making, see? So basically this video is about any major event, miniseries, or in a comic book that's happened in the year 2011. Also movies. Now when I say movies, I don't mean Thor, Tales of Asgard, Batman Year One, or Green Lantern Emerald Knights. Those are straight to DVD animated movies. They were not part of this list, but now you guys know the movies that came out that were animated from both Marvel and DC. Does not involve anything that, any cartoon series that was on TV like Young Justice or The Mighty Avengers. That I didn't count. I did, however, count one TV series, and there's a reason for that, and you guys will see as the list I go through it. Yeah, but this is basically everything else. This has been accumulated from the very beginning of 2011 all the way through until the very end. It's not in chronological order anymore. Unfortunately, the very beginning of the list is, but then like towards the middle, work kind of got in the way, and I didn't have a chance to fix the list and keep it in chronological order, so I basically just put everything down from memory. So I do apologize if things are out of order, but I'm sure you guys have been following since the very beginning of the year anyway, and you guys know about that. This is just to give a round out of what's gone on this year and exactly what we've been fed since the beginning of 2011 until now. And first off, from IDW, this involves all comic book companies that I've been collecting. Now, anything happened in Dark Horse, like the Death of Hellboy. Oh, there you go. The Death of Hellboy happened in Dark Horse. That was one thing that happened in 2011 from Dark Horse. But I really don't collect from Dark Horse, so if anything else other than the Death of Hellboy happened, I kind of have no idea. I don't have any idea about most of Image stuff. I do know that Jim Downing is doing a really bang-up job as Spawn. But I do have IDW in here, and then the rest is all DC and Marvel. The only IDW thing I have is the very beginning of 2011 we had Infestation miniseries, the Infestation miniseries, which was part 1 of Infestation, which then reached into a 2-part series from several different titles, which were G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Trek, and Ghostbusters. And then it all concluded in Infestation number 2. And this was about a 2-3 month journey from Infestation 1 through 2 series, through another 2 series, and then Infestation 2. It did so good, actually, that IDW in the beginning of 2012 is doing Infestation number 2. Looking forward to it. Infestation 1 was an awesome read. Fun stuff. Involved zombies, or some type of zombies. Unfortunately, there was a vampire involved, but what can you do? Apparently vampires are the new thing nowadays. So hopefully after Twilight ends, there won't be any more mention of vampires, at least for the next 20 years. DC Comics had these really nice covers at the beginning of 2011. I don't have any to show you guys. It was basically a white backdrop with the superhero symbol, and then underneath the symbol would be the superhero. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. Personally, I loved it. I actually got a couple of books that I normally wouldn't have bought because of those nice covers, so good job, DC. Then, because of the prices and everything, DC decided it was going to draw the line at $2.99, and they did. For most of the year, they drew the line at $2.99. Until September, when they did the relaunch, which we'll get into later on in this list. And 3 books broke that rule. Action Comics, All-Star Western, and Justice League. Not in that order. Those books reached $3.99, so I guess there was kind of a hiccup in their drawing the line at $2.99. Which, look, you know, you gotta understand, Action Comics and All-Star Western have been around for years, even though All-Star Western was dropped years ago, and it's just starting up now again. And Justice League, because it was the beginning of the new DCU, so maybe it'll go down to $2.99 after the first few story arcs are done. Also, Brightest Day ended at the beginning of this year. And we all found out that the whole Brightest Day led into Swamp Thing. And at the beginning of that, due to shock, I was kind of like, really? That's how you end it? You brought so many heroes back, and now they're back alive again, but it was all for Swamp Thing, and I remember being against it. However, as the year went on, that opinion has changed, and I'm very happy to announce that the Swamp Thing series is doing pretty good, but we'll get into that also later. In Green Lantern, though, there was another major event that happened right after Brightest Day, and that was the War of the Green Lanterns. Basically, Hal Jordan lost his ring at the end of the series, so I had to think about how I was going to do this. And Sinestro got his Green Lantern Corps ring back. Krona had, in the beginning of the series, taken control of all of the entities, corrupted the Green Lantern rings using Parallax, and all the Green Lanterns basically were under Krona's control. We got to see Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and John Stewart all in different corps, wearing different corps rings. A wonderfully beautiful last 4-part cover set. I loved having those covers where you'd have Hal Jordan in the yellow ring, Guy Gardner in his red ring again, John Stewart in his indigo ring, and Kyle Rayner with the blue ring. First of all, Kyle Rayner looks really awesome as a Blue Lantern. Those covers were awesome. The series was awesome. As I said, it led into, though, which is on the list, and I'm going to get to it, I guess, now because I mentioned it already. Hal Jordan lost his ring at the end of all this because the Guardians were afraid because he killed Krona. No Green Lantern's ever able to kill a Guardian. And for some weird reason, Sinestro got his Green Lantern Corps ring back. We also got to see Gantha get his mind wiped also, but this was during something else. We'll get to that. Then the unfortunate Flashpoint came out. At first, everybody was happy about it, including myself. I thought, great, a new miniseries, something fun to read. Some issues actually came with nice little pins, like last year's Blackest Night came with the rings. This year, this year the Flashpoint comics came with pins, so it kind of forced you, if you wanted to get the whole set, to buy comics you normally wouldn't, which I did. Some of them weren't worth buying, some of them were, and I continued them all the way till the end. Towards the middle of Flashpoint, we found out that Flashpoint was going to lead into a universe-changing thing, and that would lead into a major relaunch in the DCU, which we'll get to later on because we're now going into Marvel. In answering the Flashpoint pun that DC did, Marvel answered with Marvel Fear Itself. Fear Itself involved 3 deaths that didn't really happen. It involved the 2 deaths, sorry. It involved the death of Captain America Bucky, which didn't really happen, and the death of Thor at the very end of the series, which didn't happen. Basically, it was Odin's brother, the Serpent King, who resurfaced thanks to Sin, who is the Red Skull's daughter, and the hammers, the Dark Hammers, fell down to Earth. It was up to Thor and Asgard to stop them. Tony Stark made a bunch of hammers that you got to see for like 1 episode, 1 issue, and then they basically destroyed them all. Good guys won at the expense of Thor for a couple of months, and Bucky now is back as Winter Soldier, undercover. Everybody thinks Bucky is dead. Major universe changing. Really, this could have been all told in Thor, because it really centered and focused around Thor. Nothing changed in the Spider-Man world. This shouldn't have been considered universe changing, in my opinion. Okay. There was a death, however, this year in the Ultimate Universe that is sticking, and that's the death of the Ultimate Spider-Man, and that's where I basically stopped reading the Ultimate Spider-Man. They killed off Peter Parker. It was Norman Osborn. We all knew that was going to happen. And in his place came Miles Morales, who I really have no care in the world about. Ultimate Universe continues to hold true to their, if you're dead, you're dead. Which is kind of okay, I understand. First of all, I was very iffy about the Ultimate Universe since Ultimatum, but I stuck with Spider-Man, and then they killed him. So now I don't collect anything from the Ultimate U. From what I hear, though, Miles Morales is doing a very bang-up job as Spider-Man. I just could care less. Also, something new started, Venom. The Venom series actually started in the Marvel U with Flash Thompson as Venom, and it's been doing a good job. I was ready to drop the series, honestly, around now, right after Spider Island, because I was iffy about the series. But due to the high demand and a lot of people messaging me and commenting, I think I'll hold on to the series just a little bit longer. So don't worry, guys, you'll be seeing Venom still. In Superman pre-relaunch, we had the Reign of Doomsday, where you had 4 different kinds of Doomsday. I thought this isn't major news, but it was still fun because it actually reached out to Justice League, and there were a bunch of one-shots, and then it all finished off in Action Comics. No, in the Superman comics, I believe. It was really fun. I thought I'd mention that. It was either Superman or Action Comics, one of the two. But it was a fun read, in my opinion. It was the last story told by with the old-fashioned Superman. And you know, we're 5 months in, and well, we'll get to that soon. It was a really good story. I would say check it out if you guys ever want to see a story. Johnny Storm died this year, at the beginning. And we're at the very end of 2011, and Johnny Storm's alive again. Fantastic Four 600. He came back to life. But in that time that he was dead, or dying several times, FF began, which is the Future Foundation, and Spider-Man joined the team. It was a nice 11-issue run that led into Fantastic Four 600. I don't collect it anymore because the series is ridiculous now. And Fantastic Four 600. It was a lead-up to a lead-up. I was hoping, you know, was it bad? No, it wasn't bad, but was it good? No, it was really more of a lead-up. It's kind of in the middle of bad and good. It's good. So that's going on in Fantastic Four. Marvel this year has been very... He's dead. No, he's not. This year I've noticed that a lot from Marvel. They're kind of like reaching out to kill somebody. They play the death card, and then it's like when they see people starting to go, they pull it back. Unless this was the plan for Johnny Storm all along, we'll never know. In the movies, we got to experience several movies this year. Green Lantern from DC, which did okay. If you like seeing CGI costumes and Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Captain America and Thor both were amazing movies from what I heard. And X-Men First Class came out with the promise of probably X-Men Second Class at some point, which was really good also. 4 good movies this year. Next year, all the movies are out now from Marvel. Captain America is leading into the Avengers movie. That is going to be huge for 2012, but we're saving that for next year's year in review in 2012. Let's see if it makes it. Captain America gets a new series, and Steve Rogers is back as Captain America because of the whole Death of Bucky thing. He's no longer Steve Rogers Super Soldier. He is Steve Rogers Captain America once again in his classic red, white, and blue costume. And damn it, it's about time. That's how I feel about it. Captain America went to Captain America and Bucky, which are tales that took place in the past, and we got a new Captain America series, fresh with Steve Rogers. So that's what's going on with Steve Rogers and Cap. Swamp Thing was huge. There was a miniseries that took place right after Brightest Day. It was a 3-part miniseries. Don't get it. It was the search for Swamp Thing. It basically was a prequel to Swamp Thing, which now leads into, before I get into Swamp Thing, the DC Comic reboot. After Flashpoint, DC Comics announced their New 52. And it was a universe-changing event. Comic books were rebooted to their #1s, and stories and characters were never the same again. We got to experience new costumes, new stories, new backgrounds for some characters. Horrible retellings, good tellings, because some of them didn't reboot, like Batman and Green Lantern. Those series just continued on, according like nothing ever happened. It's like, bitch, what are you talking about? Pfft, relaunch. I'm Batman, or pfft, I'm Green Lantern. However, though, most of the DCU did change, and it started all in Justice League #1, where it took place 5 years in the past, where the Justice League first formed, and all the other Action Comics also is a couple of years in the past. Maybe even further back than 5 years, because this is Superman before he even donned his original costume. This is Superman in denim jeans and a shirt. Yes, suffice it to say, I am not happy with the DC Comic relaunch. One thing I can say that I was talking to Phil, the Captain Cummings, about last night is, you know, DC Comics, whenever something goes wrong, they relaunch the universe. Marvel, whenever they have a good idea about something new, they make a new universe. The Ultimate Universe, the 2099 Universe, the Zombie Universe. There were so many universes, the Marvel, the Apocalypse Universe, where what if Wolverine became Apocalypse. They have a What If series. There are so many universes, and this is like Marvel saying, okay, we're going to make this universe, like the Ultimate, But if you don't like it, don't worry, you still have the regular universe. Why DC, instead of doing a New 52, couldn't do a Ultimate Universe and just name it something else is beyond me. If Marvel did it, I don't understand why DC can't. See, that's why Marvel, when it comes to their stories, they stay true to their characters, and if they have a new idea for a new type of thing for their universe, instead of putting it in their major universe, in their main U, they'll take it and put it in a different U. They'll make up a brand new universe, just specifically for that. And that's why Marvel gets a little bit of a pat on the back for not relaunching ever their main universe, other than Spider-Man. But that was really not a relaunch of the universe, that was a relaunch of the character. That was the only time, I believe, unless I'm wrong, that they actually relaunched anything on in the Marvel U. But so far, sales are going very well for DC. They're beating out Marvel by literally a percentage now, a point. But I have a feeling in the coming year that might change, especially with all the big things that Marvel is announcing for 2012 and all the little things that DC is not. Now, don't get me wrong, DC does have its multiverse, but they don't stick to anything. Like Marvel has the Ultimate World and the Zombie World that they've stuck to a lot. DC had one-shots of the multiverse, or the Elseworld tales as they call them. This New 52 could have been an Elseworld universe. My opinion. My opinion, you know, you don't have to agree with me. I understand how some people actually like it. But I will say 2 series that really stuck out and did amazing, which you didn't need a relaunch for, were Swamp Thing and Animal Man. Their duo of darkness is amazing. I've never liked dark, gringy, gory comics before, but these two have changed my opinion on that a lot. I really am enjoying both series from DC. They were awesome. Batman's doing really good. Superman is going down. Aquaman's now a badass. It's just a brand new DCU. So for new readers, I guess this is good for you guys. But understand this. This is not the DCU that us older readers grew up with. The DCU we grew up with is the comic books you see here behind me that are DC and not Marvel, of course. IDW began 2 brand new series this year, towards the middle of the year. One being Ghostbusters and the other one being a blockbuster hit, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 5, which has gone awesome the past 5 months. We are up to issue 5, and we've already got 2 micro series, which one being Michelangelo, one being Raphael, were amazing. The series is awesome. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was good back when they created it. They actually brought out this year Volume 1 of the Ultimate Collection, which collects the first 7 comics plus the Raphael one-shot. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to take off again. It's my opinion. The new comics are even better than... no, I can't even say they were better than the originals. Nothing could ever top the originals, but they're back. Let's put it that way. They're back, and they're kicking ass just like they were back in the 1980s. Only difference is now it's in color. And the bandanas are all different colors also, instead of all red. But other than that, the series is awesome, guys. If there's one series you should have picked up this year that kick-started, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's really good. Ghostbusters also started, and it basically rode on the coattails of its first movie again. First and second movie, actually. In the new year, we're going to see a new story now. Let's see if the Ghostbusters crew can hold out, the writing crew and the artist crew can hold out, telling a story that does not involve the movies at all. If they do, then I will be a very happy person, because there are a lot of tales you can tell with the Ghostbusters. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, watch The Real Ghostbusters. It was on TV. There's a lot you can do with the Ghostbusters that don't involve their movies. And I'm looking forward to seeing if that happens in 2012. Marvel started a lot of #1s as well this year. Avenging Spider-Man, which is basically another word for Spider-Man team-ups. Incredible Hulk relaunched with a #1, as well as Uncanny X-Men relaunching with its #1. And Wolverine and the X-Men began. And why Wolverine and the X-Men and Uncanny X-Men? Because there was an event known as X-Men Schism that happened this year as well, which pitted Wolverine against Cyclops, which ended with the X-Men splitting into 2 different teams, one staying on Utopia and staying on the West Coast, one going back to the Charles Xavier Institute in Westchester and being on the East Coast. However, the Xavier School for Higher Learning is now the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. And I think we all know what series is going to do better, because Charles Xavier only showed up for one of the 2 number 1s, and that was Wolverine and the X-Men, not Uncanny. My opinion is nobody really likes Cyclops. Very few people do. I don't know how he got to the top 20 list or the top 40 in the superhero top 100. But yeah, nobody likes Cyclops. I'm on Wolverine's side completely. I've only been buying one book from Cyclops' side, and that's because it involves Sentinels. Story's over now, so I probably won't be collecting that anymore. Wolverine and the X-Men has been going really awesome. Cyclops feels too much like the newer X-Men that I wasn't enjoying. Wolverine kind of feels more like it's going back to the way it was, except now Wolverine is a teacher again. But it's really a fun read. I would absolutely recommend Wolverine's side. You could give Cyc's side a try. I am just not interested in Cyclops' side at all. At all. Marvel did a lot of major announcements for 2012. Batman Noel came out in November, the very end of November, and that book was awesome. It is the only holiday book that DC released this year as far as specials, and it took place in the pre-Flashpoint DCU. It was a beautiful read, beautiful artwork. Absolutely would recommend that book from DC. 100%. It involved a Christmas Carol with Batman as Scrooge. Leave it at that. You guys should pick that book up. Carnage USA began this month. Yeah, I know it's just number 1 and we're going into next year where the whole series will conclude. I'll put the conclusion in next year's. But it started off amazing. I got Family Feud back during my 100th comic book review episode weekend extravaganza, and I loved that series. And you knew there was going to be more, and lo and behold, Carnage USA, and it started off with a bang. It has Spider-Man, certain Avengers, not all the Avengers, and the mention of the 5 other symbiote, Spider-Man. It was really awesome. Carnage USA, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you guys check that number 1 out. Let's see. Avengers Extinction number 1 actually started also this year. And it's basically a lead up into a major event that's going to be happening in 2012. So, really, there's not much I can say. It's basically Cable versus the Avengers, and Cable's basically winning right now. You feeling okay, Mike?
Oh, yeah, sorry, just had to fix something. By the way, yes, I am here. Yeah. Hello.
So, Avengers Extinction brings back Cable, so Cable's not dead anymore. And apparently the Avengers are going to screw up the future, so he has to stop them in the present. Yeah, it doesn't sound too good. It sounds more like a lead-up to me, too. There's a new Avengers team lineup, not the new Avengers, in the Avengers title. Spidey and Wolverine are getting the boot, and Storm and Vision are back, along with Spider-Woman sticking to the team, Captain America, Iron Man, the Protector, I believe, or I forget what that guy's name is. I believe it's the Protector. And yeah, so the Avengers redid their team yet again, but this is not really big news. I mean, I'm sure you guys were expecting it at some point. Voltron from Dynamite started this month, the end of this year, and it's off to a ... question mark start. I don't know how I want to feel about the series yet. I just know that the series has a lot to prove before I can say it's good or bad. Spider Island, big time, and then Spider Island. Dan Slott took over Spider-Man at the beginning or middle of this year, I want to say. And when Dan Slott took over, the Amazing Spider-Man series took off. It really did. I remember saying one story was good, one story was bad, one story was good. Ever since Dan Slott started, one issue maybe I would say it was iffy. The rest has been amazing. From Big Time to Spider Island. Spider Island being so huge, that should have been Marvel's major event of 2011, not Fear itself. That should have stayed with Thor. Amazing Spider-Man, since Dan Slott has started, has been amazing. It even took on the title, if I have one at the handy, which I probably don't. I'll find it eventually. Here it is. don't have one in my hand here. I thought I did. Basically, the Amazing Spider-Man at the very top says the world's greatest superhero. Took on a bold statement, but I gotta be honest. Since Dan Slott, wow. Amazing Spider-Man. All his events were just wow. Punisher and Captain America started also. Michael's been collecting the Punisher the past 6, 7. I think it's up to 7 now. Next month
Yeah, I
is
think
7.
it's 7.
The past half a year, and Punisher's been going good as far as what Mike said. And I've been getting the Cap Steve, which I was talking about already. And, oh yeah, I talked about it already, and it's going pretty good also. I put it twice. Silly me. X-Force had the Dark Angel saga, which we saw Warren finally give in to his darker side, and it was up to X-Force to stop him. It was a 9-part series that ended in a polybag of awesomeness. The last part was polybag due to the fact that the Marvel people did not want you to know what happened, so you had to buy the book. It was worth it. I enjoyed the series a lot. Could have been told in a few less issues, of course, but it wasn't. And the ending was amazing. We all thought that Archangel was dead. It turns out that Angel emerged from the rubble without any memory. So now we have to find, now the X-Force and X-Men have to find a way to re-jog Warren's memory from the beginning. Also in TV, the one thing I want to say about TV, we got to experience the final season and the series finale of Smallville. Now, I won't say much about the last season because I missed out on most of it due to the fact that I was very busy this past beginning of 2011 and the end of 2010. So I really did not get a chance to watch the full 2010-2011 series. I did see the season premiere. I did see the series finale. From what I heard from everybody else, though, everything in between stunk. So I don't know that for a fact. I mean, I heard of good things about a lot of the episodes. So when I get the DVD set, which I should be getting pretty soon, I'm going to watch it and make my own judgment. But in my opinion, the entire Smallville series in whole was awesome. It was a fun 10-year run. Thank you very much to everybody who worked on the project. Thank you very much to Warner Brothers, now CW, for a wonderful Superman series. Looking forward to seeing a new Superman series in the near future, because Smallville took place in 7, 8, 9, 2001, 4 years after Lois and Clark went off the air. So hopefully in another 3 years we'll be seeing a new Superman series somewhere on TV. And rounding out the major news of 2011, Batman Arkham City came out as far as video games. If you guys are interested in video games, the game is awesome. I would highly recommend that game, especially if you guys have Arkham Asylum. The game is fun. It's free roam. It's Arkham City. It has a lot of Batman's baddies. It takes place, I believe, in the Flashpoint DCU once again. And that's basically it. We've got it all. Wow, we really made it in time, huh?
28 minutes.
Alright guys, so
let's not forget, this year's major thing for your side was your 100th episode of your comic book review.
Yes, but that's not part of the year in review, really.
I know, I'm just saying for you it was important.
So guys, I'm sorry if I missed out on anything, but that was my list. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Looking forward to 2012. There will be, hopefully, if I get the time to make another list like this, which I will, we'll be seeing a 2012 in review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That was 2011 in overview. See you guys soon. Take care.